Gotta lead with Lamar. It's been a while. Feeling good, feeling great. Feeling great, feeling good. How are you? Welcome into Timeline T. I am your host, DCMD, aka Sanders May Jr. Oh, you see it. You clicked on it. I found a way in the middle of the NBA Finals, in the middle of Zion, in the middle of Messi, in the middle of Live Golf. Found a way to get Lamar in there. But there's something actually interesting with Lamar. Lamar has helped his channel greatly. Anywho, so we got some Lamar stuff. Lamar Unleashed, you see it down there. There's some Portland Trailblazers trade tea. Should they get rid of Dame or should they build around Dame? We'll get into that. And oh yeah, by the way, there's an NBA Finals game tonight. Game 4 down there in South Beach on Collins. Biscayne. The Heat try to even up the NBA Finals at 2. The Denver Nuggets look to take a commanding 3-1 lead and close it out potentially Game 5 next week. Don't be scared to hit up the chat. This is an interactive stream. Y'all can shift the conversation, shift the narrative. You know, the chat has been very important to this stream, so don't be scared to pull up. Don't be scared to contribute. Check in, say what up. The chat sometimes go off into their own conversations while I'm out here, you know, giving my takes, giving my opinions. Really like the steady growth, the building of the community, all that type of good stuff. Channel keeps growing. Couple of clips just dropped. Dropped a little recap of the Zion stuff that we got into. What was that, Wednesday? Yeah, Wednesday. Also the Messi stuff. Lionel Messi and how that was a power move with Adidas and Apple. So if you want to check those out on the channel, feel free. But let's go ahead and tap in. Let's not waste no more time. See Scrub Zero in the house. What's up, Scrub? Scrub Zero's in the house. Check him out, support him. Tap in on his channel as well. Creators supporting creators. It's a novel concept. We outside. Thomas in the house was good, Thomas. We outside, okay. Everybody tapping in, I like it. All right, so there's a thing with Lamar. And there's actually something encouraging. We learned something today about Lamar Jackson. We learned something about Greg Roman. And, you know, I'm assuming he'll pull up at some point, but I think Boogie Down is going to want to really know this story. You know what I'm saying? Check it out right here. Let's hit that. You become the coordinator. Ravens giving Lamar Jackson more freedom to audible. So what does that mean? That means he did not have the power to audible under Greg Roman. Yes, that's a thing. Mans won the 2019 MVP and did not have the ability to call an audible. There's a lot going on here. It's a very long story. And, you know, there's a lot to decipher there and all of that stuff. But let's just get cut right to the main point. In 4 full seasons as a starting quarterback, Jackson totaled 32 no-huddle plays, which ranked 32nd. That's dead last in the NFL over that span. He had success completing 70.5% of his throws when not huddling. So that would lead you to think, if you allow him to freestyle and do his thing in terms of play calling, you have a lot of success. 70.5%, that's very high. But because they only did it 32 times in 4 years, we could do that math, that's 8 per year. That's dead last in the NFL. So now let's go up here. In 4 seasons with offensive coordinator Greg Roman, Baltimore primarily huddled up, and ran the play that was called. Under Monken, Jackson can slide the pass protection to one side if he sees a defender blitzing, or switch a receiver's route if the cornerback lines up a certain way. Also, you mean he could be a quarterback? He could actually go out there and be a quarterback. That's what you're allowing him to do. And this all started from week 2 last year. And they're saying that the Baltimore Ravens changed how they ran their offense against the Miami Dolphins in week 2 last season to get a better read on Miami's pressure package. The Ravens scrapped the huddle and allowed Lamar Jackson to make the calls at the line of scrimmage. Jackson ran for 119 yards and a touchdown and threw for 318 yards and 3 touchdowns in a 42-38 loss to the Dolphins. But that wasn't the lasting impression. Ravens quarterback coach T. Martin remembers Jackson being extremely comfortable in gaining this increased freedom. I just saw the expression on his face when he came off the field. He was in a good place. Jackson will have the opportunity to get back to that, quote, good place under new offensive coordinator Todd Monken. Oh, he pulled up. He pulled up. All right, Boogie Down is in the house. Boogie Down. We got some things to talk about. You have more ammunition when you air out people about Lamar. Lamar was not given the right or the freedom to call audibles at the line of scrimmage. Now under Todd Monken, he's going to be allowed to slide pass protection, to check out of plays, so on and so forth, aka be a real QB. He'll be given the authority and the freedom to be a real QB. Under Greg Roman, that was not possible. They were dead last in no-huddle snaps over the 4 years with Greg Roman. All of that looks to change under Todd Monken. So now we can say Lamar Jackson will be unleashed this upcoming season. And we'll go to it again. In 4 seasons with offensive coordinator Greg Roman, Baltimore primarily huddled up and ran the play that was called. No checking out, no audibles, nothing of that. Under Monken, Jackson can slide the pass protection to one side if he sees a defender blitzing or switch a receiver's route if the cornerback lines up a certain way. Coach is basically just giving us the keys to the offense, really. Jackson said, I'm loving it. Greg Roman, your thoughts. You wouldn't allow a man who was a 2019 MVP audible? It took until week 2 of last year against the Dolphins for you to allow Lamar Jackson to change a play call? What more did you need to see, Greg Roman? And despite all that, he won an MVP. Despite all that, he's played well. So again, we can add this to the list. No weapons, right? The Ravens have failed to forget this offseason. Let's go to historical. Before the contract, we were trying to build a case of why Lamar has overachieved with what the Baltimore Ravens have done to allegedly help him. No help. A coach that not only was inefficient in developing a passing game, but he wouldn't even allow his franchise QB to check play calls, to slide pass protections. Everyone used to get upset. Oh, he runs into sacks. He does all of this stuff. Well, if he can't slide the pass protection, the hell is he supposed to do? If he sees there's an overload on one side, but he's not given the freedom to slide the protection, what do you think's going to happen when he snaps the rock if he doesn't run for his life immediately? And why did Harbaugh allow this? I know it sounds all good now. We got Monken in here. We got Zay Flowers. We got Odell. We're opening up the system. Why the hell didn't you do this the past 4 years? How many more years did you need to see Lamar play to realize well, if we're going to pay him all this bread, even if they wouldn't have, even if they would have given him the franchise tag, that still would have been $32.5 million. You're going to give him all this bread and he still can't audible? Brock Purdy audibles. Zach Wilson audibles. Nathan Peterman audibles. Lamar can't. Greg Roman should never get hired again in the NFL. And I'm not the type to do the hire this guy, fire this guy type stuff, but assuming this reporting is accurate, and we're not just sitting here trying to paint a pretty picture now that Roman's out the door, we can now shit on Roman. If this is accurate, that Lamar never had this freedom, this is egregious. This is absolutely egregious to Lamar. It took 4 years and an MVP for you to realize he should be able to audible at the line and a new OC. 4 years, an MVP, highest paid average salary in the game, and the new OC for Lamar to get unleashed? Bruh. Y'all see it here. I couldn't believe it. I was ready to lead with, the Portland stuff and the NBA Finals, but once I saw this and I read the story, I said, oh, no. My community, my squad, especially, the likes of Boogie Down, who me and him have been talking about Lamar for months. We've even had our own battles, but it's all good. But we've been talking about Lamar and how he's, one, better than people think, and two, how the Baltimore Ravens franchise has severely handicapped this man. And this is yet another example of the Baltimore Ravens not supporting Lamar Jackson. I'll hit the chat. Script Zero. Appreciate that, bro. All good, bro. All good. Y'all go hit up Script Zero's channel, support his content as well. We all about building each other up. Script Zero, this just proves that Lamar is him. I mean, yeah, dog, it's like he's in that elite territory. Magic Man, he was still, fronting on Lamar yesterday in our discussion. But now, after seeing this, come on, man. It's him. Thomas, he should have been letting that man cook. That's facts, though. That's facts. Like Lamar, the fact that this makes 2019 even more crazier. Makes 2019 even more crazier. Boogie Down, there was a stat that just came out that said Lamar had the second best winning percentage when trailing by 10 points or more, only behind guess who? Mahomes. Another reason why Lamar is only behind Mahomes. Okay, so y'all see, I told y'all, I was like, when Boogie Down pulls up and sees this story, he's gonna go in, and he's going in as he should, AB in the house was good, AB. Love the intro. Hey, man, appreciate that. Salute to May 1st Music. Support him at soundcloud.com/May 1st Music. That's the homie. That's the big homie. He was actually just up this way. He's down there in Florida now, but he was just up this way this past weekend. So shout out to May 1st. Boogie Down. Second in come from behind wins when trailing by 10 points or more, only behind Mahomes. Okay. Boogie Down, they were trying to sabotage him to lower his value, but it backfired and made the franchise look incompetent. Yeah, I mean, this to me, it not just makes DeCosta look bad, but this makes Harbaugh look bad. You couldn't tell Greg Roman what to do? You gave Greg Roman such autonomy that he was allowed to handcuff Lamar like that? That's really egregious. I don't think he got this off with Kaepernick. I don't think Greg Roman was able to tell Kaepernick he couldn't make no checks at the line. I'm going to have to do some research on that, but I just don't recall Kaepernick just being like a one-play QB. Like we're going to run this play no matter what. I don't recall that with the 49ers. If y'all do, let me know. I haven't done the research. I ain't have enough time to go back and look up some Greg Roman stuff with the 49ers, so I don't know. Magic Man, okay. Magic Man is here. Yo, Magic Man, what's good, man? Like, bro, Greg Roman had the handcuffs on Lamar. I know we out here saying Lamar is not elite, or at least you were saying Lamar was not elite. But now that we got information here that Greg Roman basically was a one play call, ran that type of scheme where it's just one play call and that's it. No freedom to audible, no freedom to even slide pass protection. Under Monken, Jackson can slide the pass protection to one side if he sees a defender blitzing, or switch a receiver's route if the cornerback lines up a certain way. This is basic shit. He was doing this at Louisville. Or Louisville, however you want to pronounce it. Bruh. Magic Man, my dear Messi, what happened? Something happened to Messi? Thomas, exactly. They should have been let him do that. Yeah, that's weird, bro. It's just weird that they wouldn't let Lamar Jackson be fully competent as a quarterback, yet they used that to spite him in contract negotiations. That's the really weird shit about it. All the stuff that all these owners, all these high-level executives, none of them made that point. None of them came out and said, well, he's never really been unleashed. They all came up with lies. Arthur Blank saying, his style of quarterback isn't conducive to long-term success, even though they're doing the same shit with Desmond Ridder. All these coaches that kept bending over backwards, finding reasons to not talk great about Lamar. None of them said, well, they low-key haven't even really done that much with him. They haven't really unleashed him. They haven't really allowed him to be a full QB. No scout has ever said that. No executive has ever said that. Did the Ravens keep this so in-house that only the players knew? Like, not even ex-Ravens have said this. Why are we getting this information now? That's my question. Because that what makes me, as much as I want to believe this, I also have to take into account, why are we just now hearing this? 4 seasons. We didn't hear a peep. 4 seasons Lamar has been roasted. 4 seasons Lamar has been criticized, even while winning MVP. They said he was at fault. He was incomplete, when he was never allowed to be complete because he had no autonomy to slide pass protection or to switch a receiver's route. I'm telling you, it's really egregious. And if this is true, Greg Roman should never work again. Or if any team that's worth a damn should never hire Greg Roman. You're celebrating point fraud still being gone. Who's that now? No excuses for Lamar this year, though. No excuses. Okay, well, I mean, see that part I don't like. I don't like that narrative. No excuses. I don't like that narrative. And I probably have fallen into that myself at times, but now that I've let stuff sink in, I don't like that narrative. He doesn't just have 1 year to prove he's nice. He's proven he's nice already. He's him already. Now it's, okay, how does he look with weapons? If he has a rough start to the season, people are going to jump down his throat, pause, and people are going to criticize him. But to me, it's not even about that. I need to see it for a couple of years before I make a judgment call. We've given Josh Allen multiple years with Stephon Diggs. We've given Joe Burrow his whole career with Jamar Chase. We've given Justin Herbert his whole career with Keenan Allen and Mike Williams before we put these people on a certain pedestal. But, if Lamar doesn't go crazy this year, Lamar looks bad. No, fuck out of here. No, I'm not rolling. We're going to give Lamar time like we give all the other QBs time. AB, this is ridiculous for the Ravens. That's not championship mindset. Yeah, I mean, look, Harbaugh has to take a hit here. I really want to know what was, and here's the thing about this stuff, right? This is where reporting and journalism still matter. Now, I went to school for that, right? I got my degrees in that. So I'm always on that type of time. Will somebody ask him? Somebody asked Harbaugh, how was Greg Roman able to handicap your best player from being his full self for 4 years? That's the question. And just sit back and wait. That's the question. How was your OC able to restrict the franchise by handicapping the best and most important player to the franchise for 4 years? And don't let him tap dance with word salad. Don't let him do that. Get a real answer, and if he tries to tap dance, then you follow up. Will somebody who follows the Ravens, covers the Ravens, ask that question? As you may know, just crazy I can see Messi play for once. Hey, no, I got the schedule on, I did a recap video of the Messi segment, and I have a screenshot of the schedule in there if you want to check it out. I mean, I'm sure you already looked it up on your own, but. Scrub Zero, yeah, the timing is off for this to come out. Nah, that's big facts, bro. That's really big facts. And that's the question for me is like, A, how is Roman allowed to get away with this? And 2, why are we hearing this now? Nobody knew. Literally nobody. Players get cut. Offensive players get cut every training camp. Cut down day, all of that. You telling me none of them leaked any of that to the press? Like, Lamar he's not even allowed to make checkdowns. He can't even make calls at the line of scrimmage. Like this stat that they have here, in his 4 full seasons as a starting quarterback, Jackson totaled 32 no-huddle plays. That ranks 32nd in the NFL over that span. There's only 32 teams, dead last. He has success completing 70.5% of his throws when not huddling. And yet, they barely, if ever, did it 8 times a year on average. And yet, every pundit, every analyst, every scout is tearing down Lamar's ability as a quarterback. Yet he's not even allowed to be a full quarterback. Crazy to me. Crazy to me. He believes his new offense will allow him to throw more and run less. Now Jackson has more control with the offense. Let's see. T. Martin, who was the team's wide receivers coach last year before switching over to QBs this year, has described Monken's system as quarterback friendly. But he pointed out that the added responsibility of altering plays comes with extra work in the film room and on the practice field. The coaching staff wants to know the thought process in deciding to audible. For this to work, Jackson is going to need to be more vocal. Instead of huddling, he has to communicate more with everyone, from his wide receivers to his linemen, which hasn't always come naturally. At the end of the day, guys just want to see you being you and being true to yourself and true to them as well. And I'll just say, I'm going to try to be more of a vocal leader because coach was like, you need to start speaking more. I just tried to lead by example, but I try to be more of a vocal leader. Okay, so look. I'm not going to go too crazy, but I just wanted y'all to know that because I saw that story come down today, and I was like, no. My squad needs to know this. Timeline T crew needs to know this because this is something we have literally been talking about for months. So Lamar unleashed. Remember, he said he wants to throw for 6,000 yards. You know, no, what is it? 60? Yeah, 60. He said he thinks he could throw for 6,000 yards. I don't know if y'all want to take him, you know, first or second round in fantasy, but if he puts up those types of numbers and still runs a little bit, if not, you know, as much as he's used to in his prime, I think Lamar is going to be really, really good this year. Really, really good this year. But even if he's not, to me, that's not going to make me look down on him. It's 1 year in a new system, new OC, new weapons. Like, it's a lot for him to get adjusted to. They're asking him to be more vocal. So basically, they're handing him the keys. Lamar Jackson is being handed the keys. He was handed the keys at Louisville, and we saw the results. Heisman. And even without being handed the keys, he still got an MVP. Now being given the keys with weapons, what are we predicting for Lamar? All right. Come off that. And there was some critique of Greg Roman on the timeline as well. So I'll show y'all that as well. Seth Wickersham does good work for the network, senior writer over there. Roman is a good dude and a good offensive coach, but in the same way that some head coaches are glorified coordinators, one of his quarterbacks once told me that he was a, quote, glorified run game coordinator. There you go. And this is from a senior writer for the network. A glorified run game coordinator. That's real talk. All right. The Portland Trail Blazers have to make up their mind. Let me hit the chat one time. Script Zero, Lamar's my fantasy QB last year. He helped me get through the season. I mean, he's always going to be a top pick, right? But if he has weapons now, how high are you taking him? Like, is he the first QB off the board, or you still go Mahomes? Is Mahomes QB1 in fantasy? And if he is, then is Lamar QB2? Do we still believe in Jalen Hurts and his ability? Like, it's a real good conversation. And we will be doing stuff like that as the season gets closer. And I will be doing content around that. So, you know, stay locked in, of course. But I think that's something we definitely could decipher. Like QB rankings, heading into fantasy, running back, wide receiver, tight end, all that type of good shit. I look forward to doing that type of content with y'all as we get closer to the new football season. All right, so Portland, they got to make their mind up. Dame is out here putting sub post on the gram. Okay? He's posting this. And y'all see the emojis. Now, is he telling Portland it's time to do something? As in, get me help? Or is he telling Portland it's time to trade me and get me the hell up out of here? Because as much as this hit the timeline, we also had this hit the timeline. Kevin O'Connor reporting that his league sources say that Portland's interest in building around Lillard is genuine. The front office is exploring deals for the number 3 pick, and it's also open to moving Anthony Simons. Anthony Simons right here. I think this is a really dumb move by the Portland Trail Blazers. If the Portland Trail Blazers get tricked into building around Damian Lillard, I feel sorry for Chauncey Billups because he's going to be hampered with an aging superstar, and he's never going to get a real chance to build a team in his image. As long as Damian Lillard is on that roster, you cannot retool or rebuild. He is too much of a cog. He is too much of a sponge on that payroll. It's too much. Love Dame, love his game, love the whole thing of wanting to be loyal to the PDX, but it's time. Rip City will move on. Rip City will be fine without you. You're out here talking about Miami, you're talking about Knicks tape, you're talking about Brooklyn. Cool story. Cool story. Oh, we know he's not definitely not talking about Boston. Another one. But to be out here and say that there's interest in building around Lillard, it just doesn't make sense. There's no one good enough to pair with Dame that you can get for the number 3 overall pick. We've heard Paul George. That's the best name I've heard. Paul George hasn't played 60 games since he was in OKC. Why would you do that? Why would you give up the chance to go get Scoot Henderson for Paul George? Dame talks glowingly about going to Miami and Bam Adebayo is his mans. Well, guess what, Dame? Guess who they're going to have to give up to get you in South Beach? Bam Adebayo. So how's that going to work? Like, I think Dame thinks he has way more power than he actually does. I think Dame thinks he's in that Bron, AD, Boardman, Kawhi territory. And I'm sorry, Dame, not anymore. No, not anymore. You're not that anymore. Too much tread on the tire, bruh. Too much tread on the tire. If I'm to believe, let me come off the screen for a second and pull up my basketball reference. If I'm to believe that Damian Lillard has that type of autonomy to be able to pull up and say, yo, trade me here and I'm not accepting anything else, I want to see it. Because I don't think he's got that in him, to keep it a buck with you. I don't think he's got that in him. Let's see if Dame has that in him. Because it's over, Johnny. It's over. Look at the last time he played 80 games. He played 80 games 5 seasons ago. Now, sure, it's the era of load managing. So you could say 66 games, you'll take that from Dame. 67 games, you'll take that from Dame. But look at these last 2 years for someone that's now 30 plus. And he's got a lot of years left on that deal. Where's that contract? Come on, Basketball Reference. Where's that contract? All the way at the bottom. I hate that they just bury these contracts. Where is it? God damn. I know I zoomed in, but where is it? Okay, boom. Look at all these years. Look at all these years left. 42, which is reasonable. For a Supermax contract, that's reasonable. 42, 42.5, 45.6, 48.8. Here's where it gets ridiculous. And even still, by all intents and purposes, this will be a bargain in 2025. 58.5. And then that last year, which is the player option, but if he's still playing, there's no reason to give this up. 63.2 million. So, with all this money left, why would anyone give up a Paul George? Not to say that Paul George is even worth all that, but let's just assume we're getting Indiana Paul George. Post broken leg. Why would I give Portland that just for the number 3 pick? Even a healthy Paul George, why would I only get back? Like, it's just a weird thing to me to try to understand why Dame thinks he could command this type of help. He's not that dude. Like, if we do a top 10, real talk, real spit, let's do a top 10. I had that type of time today. Let's go ahead and do a top 10. And I know somebody's like saying, you telling me Dame's not top 10? I'm not saying that yet. I'm saying let's have the conversation. Because it might be tighter than you think. Pause. All right, so expand all leaderboards. All right, points, right? No, this is playoff stats, right? This is playoff stats. Come on, man. All right, be better. Be better, Basketball Reference. Where are we at? God, they make this fucking thing. You know what? NBA.com. Fuck it. NBA.com/stats. Let's get right to the shits. All right. Player index. Where's leaders? Leaders, official leaders. Okay. All right. This is also playoff stats. God damn, regular season. Okay. All right, cool. Let's see what we got here, right? So Dame is here. It's a third leading scorer. Is he still top 10 though? Embiid or Dame? I'm going Embiid. Luka or Dame? It's sad for me to say this. I'm going Luka. SGA or Dame? I'm going SGA. Giannis or Dame? I'm going Giannis. Tatum or Dame? That's a tough one. I'll circle back on that. Spider or Dame? I'm going Dame there. Kyrie or Dame? Damn, that one's tough too. Is Dame better than Tatum or Kyrie right now? John Morant or Dame? I'm going Dame. Jokic or Dame? Be going Jokic. Anthony Davis or Dame? I'm going Anthony Davis. Real talk. Jimmy Butler or Dame? It's closer than you think. Don't let this finals performance fool you. Like, I don't know if Dame is top 10 anymore. Steph Curry or Dame? Steph's been more reliable. Like, there's a lot of dudes, and like Tatum, you can make a case for Tatum being better. He's been more available. Kyrie, that's where it's really dicey. Kyrie or Dame 3 years ago was an easy Dame dub. Now, I don't know. Both of them might be legitimate number 2 options on championship contending teams. The problem is Dame thinks as long as he's in Portland, if they're going to win a championship, he's got to be the number 1. I don't know if Dame's top 10, bro. Yeah, there's a lot of dudes here like Devin Booker or Dame. I'm going Book. KD or Dame. I'm going KD. Like, Dame is not top 10. Dame's not top 10 anymore. That's crazy. And I can't believe we're here now. But this is where we at. Hit the chat. AB, it's time for Dame to move on. He is not winning a championship with Portland. But where do you think, not where he should go, where do you think he will go? Because we can always speculate about where he should go. Ultimately, if it's not Portland, where will Damian Lillard be hooping come next year? Thomas, I think he's trying to say, get me out of here. I mean, it looks like it. It's looked like it. He'll be a good piece for a team that's in position for a championship. I mean, there's tons of those, though, but how many got the pieces to trade for him? There's tons. There's 16 playoff teams, right? So there's 16 playoff teams every year. I don't know how many of those 16 can actually have the pieces to go get Dame. Script 0, I'll take James Butler. Well, he's playing like James Butler in his finals, but I'll call him Jimmy. Jimmy Butler over Dame. Okay. Yeah, I'm rolling. Tater tots over Dame. So you're taking Tatum. Okay. Taking Tatum over Dame. And taking Kyrie over Dame. Okay, yeah. So Dame's not top 10. I'm taking Jimmy over Dame. Okay. I'm not taking Tatum over Dame. Okay. All right. So we got a split on Tatum. But I think if we're really running down names, right? Embiid, Luka, SGA, Giannis, Kyrie, Jokic, D-Book, KD. We're already at 8. Y'all split on Tatum, so I'll let that slide. We said Jimmy. Jimmy is 9. We didn't even say Steph. Steph is 10. Damian Lillard is not a top 10 player. So how can a guy that's not even a top 10 player act like everyone should be running to go hoop with him in Portland? Yeah, he's just not top 10. Now he's in that 10 to 15. He's in that 11 to 15. But he doesn't think that. And that's where if you're Portland, you might have to have that conversation with Dame. Like, look, we want to help you out here. We would like to build around you, but if the best we could do is Paul George, let's be real, that's not enough. So since we're not interested in giving up the chance to draft Scoot Henderson at 3, just so you could have Paul George and y'all still get eliminated in the second round if you're lucky, how about we trade you where you want to go? And we could rebuild around Anthony Simons, who is a better version of you and a more efficient version of you right now. We got a man, Shaedon Sharpe, who can slide in and be that two guard. So you move, you can either do a 3-guard lineup, or you could go small and have Shaedon Sharpe be the 3. But you could have Simons at the 2, Scoot at the 1, Shaedon Sharpe at the 3. And now you're looking at whatever you get back for Dame could be the 4, assuming you get a big or at least some kind of wing player. Or you could go, and much like Lamar being unleashed, go unleash Cam Reddish at the 4. And then you still got your man's Nurkic at the 5. Or depending on what you get back for Dame, you might get 1 or 2 high-level starters for Dame. Now you're having Scoot, Simons. You could bring Shaedon Sharpe off the bench if you get a 3 and a 4 in the trade for Dame. Like it's too easy, in my opinion, for Portland to rebuild. It's too easy of a signal to just, yo, dogs, just trade Dame. Just trade Dame. It's time. You're going to sit here and let go of Anthony. I don't think people understand how good Anthony Simons has been. I know Portland sucked last year, and there's really no reason to watch Portland, but because I am who I am, I watched a lot of Portland. 38% from 3. As you see, he takes a lot of 3s. Like, he could slide over to the 2 and really do some damage, Shaedon Sharpe. Anthony Simons. Anthony Simons can really take that next step next year if he's given the keys. And then you have Scoot, and then Shaedon Sharpe flashed late in the year. As you see, late in the year, he's giving you 20 plus. Late in the year, Shaedon Sharpe was telling you, I can be a second or third option on this team. 27 piece, 26 piece. And efficient at that. The 3 ball needs some work, but efficient from 2-point land, and he's getting to the line. And he's hitting some boards and some dimes. So he can go, okay? If you haven't watched Shaedon Sharpe could go. So the fact that you got Anthony Simons, who is a cheaper, more efficient Dame right now, and less ball dominant, by the way, you could go draft your point guard of the future with the 3rd pick in Scoot Henderson. And then you could go get high value assets in either a lot of picks or a lot of ready-made starters, high-level starters right now in trading Dame. So either you trade Dame for a shit ton of picks, and then you continue to rebuild, or you retool on the fly by going and getting some high-level starters for Dame and add them to this young core. Bruh, if they try to build around Dame for one more year, it's ridiculous. AB, the problem is Dame contract. It can be traded. Any contract in the league can be traded. It could be traded. Thomas, a couple of years back, I would say, Dame, yeah, that's the thing. I think we all would have. The problem is a couple of years ago, we would have all said Dame might be top 5. But that's how fast it snuck up on him. He's not that dude no more. He's not that dude no more. And I'm not sitting here trying to kill Dame. It's just, bruh, I break this shit down and I watch Portland and I'm like, they need to move on from Dame. I'm like, I'm not going to say it yet because Dame is Dame. But in my mind, I'm like, this ain't going to work with him. Like, he ain't him no more. He ain't him as a number one option anymore. So if you're bringing in someone who is worse than him, you're not any closer to a championship. You're not. He'll give you all the points in the world, but let me take a quick look at that usage rate. You see the defensive rating, right? Let me see. Can y'all see that? Is the screen over? Nope, the screen's not over enough. Hang on. Y'all can see that now. 121 defensive rating. His defensive rating has gotten consecutively worse for 6 years. 6 years, his defensive rating has continuously, consecutively gotten worse. Sorry, Dame, it's time. And the usage rate, you see it, 33.8. Bruh. That's like LeBron territory. That is LeBron territory. And we're telling LeBron it might be time. So what do you think we're going to tell you, Dame? Bruh. Again, the highest of his career, by the way. Highest usage rate. Even when it was him and CJ, it was only like low 30s. Now he's trending up to mid 30s. Crazy. Script Zero. We know these teams be on some goofy stuff and build teams. Well, I mean, I think so. Scrub Zero, I think so, right? But I also think the smart teams know when to get out. Like, there was a story this week. I didn't pull it. I was going to use it, but I decided against it. But Steph Curry wants the Warriors, now that Bob Myers is officially out, Steph Curry's trying his damnedest to try to get the Warriors to run it back one more year. And I think that would be the dumbest decision ever if the Warriors actually did do that. They should not run it back with the habitual nut hitter. They should not run it back with Clay. Clay wants an extension. He's locked in for one more year. Then he wants an extension. I would not give Clay an extension. Let him finish out that contract, and then we'll revisit it after how he looks after next year. But by no means am I running it back with that group. It is time. It is time to allow the Kumingas, the Moody's, the Baldwins, the Rollinses to get some run. You wasted James Wiseman. I mean, you should have drafted LaMelo. We know that. But you wasted Wiseman. You never really gave him a chance. You got 4 other high-level rookies or young players on that bench collecting dust, atrophying season by season. I know you want to give Steph a lifetime contract, and I know you want to bend over and say to Steph because he's the franchise, but you cannot run that thing back by furthering, hampering, and hindering your salary cap and the luxury tax, by maxing out or close to maxing out the habitual nut hitter and giving Clay an extension. You can absolutely, under no circumstances can you do that. If you're trying to keep that franchise afloat, once you give Clay and the habitual nut hitter lifetime contracts, that means you're riding it until the wheels fall off. And trust me, those wheels are already falling off. Steph could just camouflage the shit. And that's why those Nigerian freak Giannis Antetokounmpo rumors won't stop. Because the Warriors' whole plan has been, we need to extend Curry's peak as long as we can. If he need to cloak it with KD, we thought we could cloak it with Wiggins and Poole. That's not working. All right, maybe we mortgage everything. Throw Poole in there. Throw Kuminga. Throw Moody. A shit ton of picks. And maybe you hit up Milwaukee and be like, what's it going to take for Giannis? How many future firsts do you need? You can have all the youngins. We don't care about bench depth. As long as we got Steph and a two-man game with him and Giannis, we don't care about depth. It's the choices these teams are going to have to make. You can't, that dynasty, that whole run, the window's closed. They squeezed out one last chip last year. The window, to me, it's closed. They lost pretty easily to a Laker team that got their doors blown off by the Nuggets. That window is closed. Thomas, I wonder what the Celtics would do with Jaylen Brown. He's a trade target for sure. He is a trade target for sure. Where do we see Dame going? Shit, I asked y'all that. Where do y'all see Dame going? Dame is cool. Sure. But he's also not top 10. And he should not be a top tier player anymore. He should not be treated like a top tier player no more because he's not that. And if I'm wrong, I'll walk it back. This shit is recorded. So I'll play the clip back and walk it all the way back. I got no issue doing that. But there's no way, unless Portland could go out there and trade the number 3 pick for a player that's better than Dame, I don't see how that team carves out a path to a championship. Simons cannot develop the way he needs to with Dame there. Shaedon Sharpe cannot develop the way he needs to with Dame there. Scoot Henderson, if he's the pick at 3, cannot develop with Dame there. So you know what you should do, Portland? Trade Dame. Thomas, Kyrie want LeBron to come to Dallas. Yeah, I don't believe that. I mean, it's a report, right? It's a report, but Kyrie says a lot of, and I think Kyrie even denied that. I think, I'm not sure. I don't really care because there's no way that's happening. LeBron's not going to Dallas. To me, it's all posturing. It's LeBron letting Rob Pelinka know you need to get on your shit and get on your square and make sure you give me some reinforcements. So yeah, I don't put too much stock in that. AB, it's time for Golden State to get younger. I mean, they already are. Steve Kerr just won't play them. The youngins are there. That's the one thing I'll give them. I never believed the whole narrative of the Warriors revolutionized basketball. But I will say this, is that over the last 2 years, outside of the Weissman pick when that should have been LaMelo, they have dominated in the draft. Absolutely dominated in the draft. The players they got just marinating on that bench that don't get no run, they would be starters on other teams. There would be rotational pieces on other teams. Let me go to the draft history. I mean, I could just show you, but I mean, draft. Let's see. Come on. Rocket draft. Yeah, franchise. Yeah, there we go. Okay. All right, so let's go to, here, Weissman. It should have been LaMelo, right? We understand that, right? But then the next year, to bang on Kuminga and Moody. Now, obviously, I'm way more higher on Kuminga than Moody, but Moody could be a good piece as well. And then to go get Patrick Baldwin, who is a bucket. He's got a lot of Michael Porter Jr. in him, but he's got that same size and that same type of skill set. And then they don't even have, where's Ryan Rollins? They don't even have Ryan Rollins on here? But that was a trade, right? They got Ryan Rollins, and Ryan Rollins could go too. So, they got 4 youngins that can go right now, but Steve Kerr ain't playing them. Yeah, there's Ryan Rollins. Ryan Rollins, Patrick Baldwin Jr., who is the Michael Porter Jr. clone, Moses Moody, who's a good 2-guard, good size, and Kuminga, who I think could be that he could fill that A. Wiggins type role if he's allowed to play. So the Warriors could already be younger. They're right there, just on the bench, not getting no burn. And that might be a coach thing. Maybe that's something to consider as well. Steve Kerr, I think, is not there for no rebuild or no retooling. If they can't get the Nigerian freak Giannis Antetokounmpo, if they can't retool on the fly, I think the only way Steve Kerr stays there long term is if they bring all the guys back. He'll just ride that thing out. But I don't think he wants to see I don't think he wants to be there when Steph is just by himself, chucking threes from 35 feet out by himself. I don't think Steve Kerr wants to be there at that point. But maybe he is like Popovich. Maybe he'll just keep hanging around. Who knows? All right, so we got that. All right, game 4 tonight. Who we got? Game 4 tonight. What are we looking at? I think the series is over. Even if the Heat even it up at 2, I saw enough in game 3 to know that if that happens, I could see that. I could see the game 3 scenario happening 2 more times as opposed to the game 2 outcome happening 3 more times. And that to me is how it comes down to it for me. Nikola Jokic averaging a triple-double in this NBA Finals. Well, almost a triple-double. He's got 9.3 assists. Jamal Murray, who is not a point guard, averaging 10 assists. He has literally gotten 10 assists in each game. I mean, dogs. Jokic is 2 assists away from also averaging 10 assists. Like, they ain't stopping these boys. They're doing this with Christian Braun being better than Michael Porter Jr. That's how good Jokic and Murray are. That Michael Porter Jr. could be outplayed by Christian Braun, and they're still going to win a Larry O.B. Aaron Gordon has done nothing special outside of that 112-point first quarter in the first game, and they're still going to get a Larry O.B. Thomas, I think the Knicks or I say maybe Cleveland for Dame. Well, the Knicks will love that. Cleveland's interesting. What are you giving up? If you're trying to trade Dame to Cleveland, what are you giving up? You're going to have to give up Garland. And I don't know, do you want Dame and Spider? I don't know about that. And then the Knicks keep circling about Donovan, and Donovan keeps talking about the Knicks. So, I mean, I don't know. There might be some things at play there. Scrub Zero, I got the Heat tonight. Then Nuggets win the next 2 and get the chip. Okay. Yeah, I just don't see a scenario where the Heat win 3 more times. I don't see it. Unless Jokic gets hurt, I don't see and I'm definitely not, knock on wood, I'm definitely not trying to speak that into existence, but I just don't see a scenario where that team is able to get that off. You know. And look at the usage rate. I just showed you Dame's usage rate. Dame holds the ball a lot to get his own shot off and was a 33-34 usage rate. Nikola Jokic is averaging almost 10 assists, and his usage rate is a 32. Jamal Murray is averaging 10 dimes, and his usage rate is a 28. They're doing this with cohesive ball movement. And low-key, Joker's defensive rating that's solid for him. That's solid. And look at Christian Braun. Stopper, 106. So, you know, it's a lot. It's a lot, man. But the fact that Murray and Jokic are out here looking like, you know, the Gen Z or whatever, like whatever. They're the new age Kobe and Shaq. I think this is their year. Low key, it could be their year again next year. And then we'll see how things go after that. This could be a little quick back-to-back, kind of like the Pistons with Zeke and them. They could win a quick little back-to-back, and then people forget about them. I think their window is 2 to 3 years. I think this is year one of a 3-year window. They're going to get the chip this year. I don't see too many huge improvements from any team in either conference that makes me think they won't be at least in the conference finals again next year. Of course, barring injury. But I think this year and next year, they're going to be a force to be reckoned with. And then after that, we'll see who's around in 3 years. Scrub Zero, I don't want to see Dame on the Knicks. That's just going back to bad, broken habits. Yes, but he immediately becomes the best player on the team. And while that's not good enough to win a championship, I'd rather see that for the Knicks. Like, I don't know what the trade would have to be. I'm assuming RJ's thrown in there. A lot of teams are high on Quickly, allegedly, so he probably won't be a piece you could use. This roster's just not good enough. Like, if you're Dame, why do you want to come to New York? Just because it's New York? I don't know why you would do that. Now, the Cleveland thing I think is interesting. And we'll get back to the finals in a second. But I just want to explore this Cleveland thing. Because Cleveland has expendable youngins. You can move Okoro. You can move Garland. I wouldn't move Mobley. But if you told me Garland, Jarrett Allen, who makes money on this roster? Well, Garland makes money, right? He got the extension, right? Got to find somebody who makes some money. But I think it starts with Garland. Well, LeVert makes money, but I think he's a free agent. Garland and Jarrett Allen. You're going to throw in a whole shit ton of picks, but they gave up a lot of picks to Utah. Yes, I don't think Cleveland could do that either. Cleveland doesn't have the picks or players that they're willing to give up that make money. Unless you're trying to get rid of Donovan already. Maybe do a 3-teamer, find Donovan's way, find his way to the Knicks. AB, if Murray goes off again tonight, it's a wrap. Yep, agreed. I mean, I honestly think it's a wrap already. Thomas, I think the Nuggets are the better team. Yep, agreed. Magic Man is trying to shake things up. Y'all let him have it. Who is more famous, KD or Messi? I mean, I don't know why anyone would say KD, so I don't know what you're like. You just want to hear pro Messi talk? I gave you a three-minute recap video on the whole Messi thing. I took care of you. Pause. All right, so, I mean, look, I think what does Spo do tonight? let's see if we can predict, what Spo can do tonight. I'm kind of out of stuff. Like, he does the zones. They found a way to Swiss cheese the zone. He went away from the double teams. He ISO balled. Jokic got a 40 piece, but they found a way to win. He went back to the doubles and back to the zone, and they got Swiss cheesed up on their own home floor. And it's not like the Miami Heat beat themselves. They only had like 4 turnovers the whole game. Yeah, they had 4 turnovers the entire game. So it's like, how much? I mean, yeah, they shot poorly from 3. And like I've been telling y'all, like, if they're not on some Warrior shit, just knocking down a bunch of threes, all these undrafted, free agents that they keep, talking about become mortal. Gabe Vincent, 1 for 6, 7 points. Strus, 1 for 4, 3 points. Caleb Martin, he gave you 10 points at least. He had J. Cole in the crowd, so he at least got to the double digits. But Duncan Robinson, 3 threes, but these threes, I think 2 of these 3 threes were late in the game when the game was pretty much already decided. So it's like, if their threes ain't falling, it's a wrap, bro. Magic Man, you're the only one that's in here comparing Messi to KD, bro. You just want to hear anti-KD? I mean, shit, the Suns lost. I mean, we roasted KD. So how does this series look? Let me go to series summary right quick. I want to see something. Do we have a shot chart for the entire series yet? We do not. Do we? No, we do not. Okay. When we have the shot chart for the whole series, okay, there's a trend here, and it's with Miami. They can't shoot inside the paint. And I think y'all see it on the screen, but let me just emphasize it. As much as these are bad, right? These are bad, right? There's no way around that. These are bad. Missing corner threes is bad. All of that, right? Missing all of these, can't do it. And these are a lot of Bam, a little bit of Jimmy. Like, you can't miss this many bunnies, bro. And then when you see the Nuggets, way less, bro. Way less red X's in this paint. Way less red X's. Just a lot of greens. Lot of greens. Lot of greens, bro. So, and that's at the crib. Miami is bricking shots in the paint, in the restricted area, at the crib. It's going to be a tough pill for them to swallow, man. This is going to be a bad loss for them. They need to shake things up. There's talk of Damian Lillard. I don't think Dame makes them that much better, if at all. But when you're looking at the way that they have the threes here, let me get my circle on. These threes in bunches. And again, I know they live and die by the 3, but they're dying at such a fast rate by the 3 that it's almost like, well, maybe we should try to switch things up. Can Jimmy get on the block? Or is now we're starting to hear about Jimmy's ankle again? I'm trying to understand it. Let's see if we missed anything. Amen Thompson, he's nice. But they need to slow down a little bit on him. Point guards that interest members of the Phoenix Suns. I think this is a really weird list. Really weird list. None of these guys should be point guard for the Phoenix Suns. Like, why? Oh yes, Zion spoke today. I have the video. Where is it? Yeah, look at your man Zion. He opened up a camp. Zion Williamson has pledged $250,000 to the Jefferson Parish School's Summer Bridge program. This happened today. So let me go ahead and get the sound up so you can hear your man Zion. No, he was not asked about the gender reveal and everything else that went along with that, but his body language kind of lets you know He really did not want to be there today, but Zion Williamson showed his face in public and spoke.
Words can't
Look at the body language.
truly express how I really feel about being able to have a camp of my own and just help kids.
This is a stressed body language. You see the arms crossed, right? Body language 101. Very defensive, very guarded.
I mean, that changed my childhood. I don't know where I'd be today without this camp. So I just want to say thank you to everybody that helped, and I'm very grateful.
He's looking down. He's not really making a lot of eye contact. He is rushing to get through this. Happy as hell to get through this. He was happy as hell. See, just looking down. Arms crossed, rocking side to side. This man is tense. This is all tense. Now, I won't say how he usually relieves that tense. That's not for me to speculate on, but y'all see it. Your man Zion. It's almost like I feel bad for Zion. Shorty's still tweeting, by the way. It's just 3 days straight of Shorty tweeting. Crazy, man. All right, let's see what else we got. Dalvin Cook officially released. All right, so there was a trade today in the NBA, and it involved the Nuggets. But there's more at play here. So your man's Woj had it. The Denver Nuggets are quite not. Now, this is a really poorly worded tweet, so follow me. The Denver Nuggets are acquiring the least favorable of Oklahoma City's first-round picks in 2024. Okay? The 37th pick in the 2023 draft and a 2024 second-round pick for a protected 2029 first-round pick. And then Woj goes on to explain the Nuggets are trying to maximize their championship window, and this deal gives them additional chances at low-cost contracts and trade tools. For OKC, another first-round pick deep in the future. What he's negating to say is that also means OKC is moving some of these picks. They got too many of them. And this is the problem when you stockpile all these picks and you think you're going to wheel and deal and I'm going to get this superstar because I'm going to throw 7 first-round picks. The Knicks are entering that territory where it's like, oh, I'm going to, save up and get like the scam of them day. Danny Ainge did that in Boston. Now he's trying to run that same philosophy back in Utah. I'm going to overwhelm a team with all these picks, and I'm going to land that superstar. It didn't work in Boston for obvious and clear reasons. Now he's going to run it back in Utah. The problem is the reason why it didn't work in Boston is almost the same reason in Utah. So stockpiling picks in Utah, I don't know who you're going to get unless it's Luka. I don't know who you're saving all them picks for, bruh. But OKC is moving off some of these picks because they got too many dudes. They got Chet. They haven't even seen him yet. They got Poku. They got Giddey. They got SGA. They got a lot of dudes, bruh. They still got Dort. They got a lot of dudes, bruh. All right, Magic Man wants me to look at his comments. I see your comments about Messi's IG followers. Okay, you're talking to yourself. Okay. Scrap Zero, how you have 4 turnovers and still lose? Oh, yeah, the Heat have no size. Yeah, I mean, it's just, it's just bad, man. Scrub Zero, mans don't want to be there. I see you, Magic Man. I'm just not getting into a KD discourse today. Mans don't want to be there. Yep. Zion got caught up in the play. Yes and no. But I'm kind of over it though. It's a play per se. But I mean, there's no L for him. Like, all right, He knocked up a chick, and he clearly wants to be involved because he showed up to the gender reveal and took pics and posted it on his own socials and all that shit. So clearly, if that chick is not the main, she's the closest thing to the main. And the sides, the multiple sides, now as we're coming to find out, got mad. So you lose a few sides. All he's going to do is gain more sides. That's kind of how that works. They know Zion's out here slinging it, giving out, flights, giving out, mortgages in NO. He's just going to get more sides. I don't care about Hard Knocks. I don't know if y'all do. I don't care about Hard Knocks, but Robert Saleh was really loud about not wanting to be on Hard Knocks. Problem is, they're one of the 4 teams that is eligible to be on Hard Knocks. So they keep ducking it. But out of these 4 teams, I'll ask y'all this question. Between the Jets, the Bears, the Saints, and the Commanders, which team you want to see on Hard Knocks? It's got to be the Jets, right? I mean, you could say the Bears because they got Justin Fields and, they went and got DJ Moore and Claypool and all of that, but you can't beat the story of Aaron Rodgers, bro. Let's see, Magic Man, Calvin. Which Calvin is this? I remember when Calvin cooked, tripped, and tackled himself against the Giants. You mean Dalvin Cook? What was the gender? He's having a little girl. AB, nobody wants to play in Utah. Yeah, nobody of a certain hue. No one of a certain hue wants to play full-time in Utah. Script Zero, never cared for Hard Knocks myself. Okay. But the Jets would be the most interesting to see on Hard Knocks. Yeah, that's kind of where I'm at with it too. Like, I used to really like Hard Knocks. I think Hard Knocks has kind of gotten watered down as the years have gone on. I do like the in-season Hard Knocks better than the preseason training camp Hard Knocks. Because the Arizona Cardinals one was lit. Because there was so much dysfunction in that organization that they couldn't hide it, even with the edits of the cameras. They couldn't hide the craziness of how inept that franchise was. They couldn't disguise it. And even the year before that, I think it was the Colts. And it was great to see the Colts when they choked that game off against Jacksonville when they had a playoff spot on the line. That was dope as hell to see, like an in-season Hard Knock. I think that's the move. Like, I don't know if they're still going to do that with this whole HBO is now Max thing. I don't know if they're still going to do that. But to me, the in-season Hard Knocks is way better than just a generic, it's cut down day. Oh, this 7th round pick that they spent a lot of time trying to show you, he got cut. It's excruciating. He's got all this stuff in his in a black garbage bag. It's the same shit over and over. The in-season, John, that's the one to me. Let me see the Jets in season because they normally pick it up around like week 8 or week 9. Let me get the Jets around week 9. Good or bad. Bears could be interesting around week 8 or 9 as well. All right, let's see what we got here. Okay, Dalvin Cook, yep. Zion should be traded. Okay, that'll never happen. I don't like Zion. All right. I mean, always felt like, Ja, I mean, I've said it on the record. Ja should have been the first pick anyway, but, not sure how much better they would have been with Ja than Zion anyway, so. Pels fans don't like Zion? I don't know about that. I interviewed Rel Myers on the DCMD podcast, and she's a big Pels fan, and she does a podcast out there, and she's kind of heavy in the fan community out there, and she was giving me a very different picture of how they feel about Zion out there. It's kind of like they're just waiting. So I don't know. I mean, I'm sure there's a faction of Pell fans that are disappointed in Zion. I don't know about don't like him. Like, what's there to not like outside of, even if you want to go crazy about what happened this week, I don't think that makes him unlikable. It just makes him a simp and someone in need of an OG. But I don't know if that makes him unlikable. He's just, yeah, I don't know about that. Scrub Zero, Washington could be interesting mid-season if the bottom falls out. Or the other way, if Bieniemy is cooking, if Bieniemy's got that offense humming, that could be lit. That could be lit. I mean, the weapons are there. The weapons are here, dogs. Like, the only thing they're missing is a QB, and that's why I was so disappointed that they really didn't address that. I mean, you're gonna give Eric Bieniemy, Brian Robinson, Dotson, McLaurin, but he's got Sam Howell, Jacoby Brissett. Like, come on, man. Match made a win have made a difference. I guess the whole Zion Ja thing, okay. But that's just one person that I've seen on Twitter that they roast the fuck out of him. Yeah, I'm not saying they don't. That's what I'm saying. Like, but, for someone that's in and around the team and around the culture, she's at all the games and all that stuff. So, I mean, it is what it is. I don't put too much stock in it, to be quite honest with you. But I just to make a blanket statement, Pels fans don't like him, I don't know about that. Scrub Zero, I think the Pels going to stay waiting for Zion. I mean, I think they kind of have no choice. I mean, they were handed him. The league handed Zion to them. Thomas, well, see, Thomas is a Saints guy. So, of course, he wants to see the Saints. But low-key, Saints got some, I mean, they still got Alvin Kamara. They got some receivers and, what is it, Shaheed and Olave. They got some pieces. They got to upgrade at the QB position. Like the Saints could be interested mid-season. Magic Man, the guy never plays. Accurate. I'm not saying he's a bust. And trust me, I want to say he's a bust because I was on that Josh should have went #1 train off rip. But to me, he can't be a bust because when he's played, he's been putting up 30 pieces. Like, I understand, right? Like, I get it. It's easy to just say, well, he's a bust. But we also have to take into account that training staff was awful when he first got there, and they were sharing training facilities with the New Orleans Saints. So for a guy that's oft injured to walk into a professional organization and you're sharing a training staff with a football team, that ain't good either. I mean, he gave you 61 games. And this was always my issue with Zion. The numbers are going to be there when he plays. The question for me was, can he put up numbers? The question for me always was, can those numbers be impactful in victories? He's a stat stuffer. But anyway, we'll see. AB, Zion is cool. He needs to focus on his daughter. In basketball, just stay off the social media. No chance. No chance. Absolutely not. Unless he's going to get suspended like Ja. You saw what it took to get Ja off of social media. He had to be suspended for allegedly 50-plus games or be threatened to be suspended for 50-plus games for him to give up social media. So a chick airing you out for 3 days on the timeline, that is not enough for him to get off social media. Scrub Zero, that is true too. Commandos do have weapons. They do have some concerns on the O-line, though. Yeah, the O-line has been shaky there for a few years there. Thomas, the in-season Hard Knocks is good. Yeah, I really enjoyed it. The last two I've enjoyed. I know there was some before that. I didn't really check in on those to keep it a buck with you, but this one with the Cardinals and the year before that with the Colts, I was locked in. Magic Man is just Magic Man has his opinions today. He's just using the chat to get his opinions off. He's another Greg Oden. Okay. I don't think we even saw Greg Oden play this well though. So I think he's lasted longer than Greg Oden. I don't think Greg Oden ever gave him 60-some games. Scrub Zero, I think the Pels are stuck because they chose to extend him over trading him, and his availability is not good. I hope it works out, but I'm not holding my breath. They had no choice. The league forced him, and again, he got hurt before the All-Star break. He was trending in the right direction before the latest injury. I mean, still made it as an All-Star. I mean, yes, it's the popularity contest at times and all that type of stuff, but I don't know, man. I'm not totally giving up on Zion only from the fact of when he plays. If you have to load manage him like Kawhi, then so be it. If you need him to give 50-something games, 50 to 60 games, that's fine. That's fine. That's Damian Lillard territory. A lot of young players aren't playing that many games anyway. How many games Luka played? Luka played 66 games. These young cats are not playing 82 games. No one's playing 82 games. Luka's only played 70 games once. So 60 games is now the new 75, 80 games. You get Zion in the 60s, he's going to give you those 26, 27 points, 8, 9 boards. He's a stat stuffer. So the question is, are you willing to just put him out there no matter what the conditioning is to get you to 60 games? Because that's what it comes down to, because I've had people close to the organization say that it hasn't always been Zion's unavailable. I've had a lot of people close to the organization tell me and people that I know and trust that the organization has been scared to put him out there because of their perceived lack of conditioning on his part. So it always hasn't just been, oh, he's a bust because he's never available. A lot of the times, it's been the franchise holding him out of games. Now, again, I'm not choosing the side because I don't know enough in totality to pick a side. But I do think with people that I know and trust close to that team, they're saying don't just assume it's because Zion's always hurt that he's not playing. The organization itself could be playing scared and not wanting to put Zion out there for fear of him having a serious injury, and then he's completely done. That's all I'll say on that. Magic Man, 61 games, that ain't nothing. All right. I mean, Luka did the same thing, though. He can ball, but the man can't stay healthy. Yes. I mean, that's, but again, it's that, right? So, yes. But it's also, the franchise might also be holding him out of games where he probably could push through and play because they're just so scared. Because everything, their livelihood, their jobs are tied to his success. Scrub Zero, when he plays, he's on point. Can't deny that. No, that's facts. I mean, he's a stat stuffer. Anything north of 60 games from Zion is a dub. I genuinely, I think, Scrub, I think that's everyone now. That's everyone. I mean, we see Luka out here with 65, 66, 66. I mean, even I don't think Jokic. I mean, he might have played 70. Let's see. Let's see how many games. Even Jokic, 69 games. Now, prior, he's giving you 70s. MVP years, he was giving you 70s. So let's see now. Who's a younger player, though? We're looking at younger players. Devin Booker plays a lot, though. And he's not really that young anymore either. 53 games for him, though. 68, 67. Like, people are not playing 70-plus games anymore. I know the load management thing was cute when it was just Kawhi, but it ain't Kawhi anymore. A lot of these dudes are not playing games. 66 for Embiid. Embiid's never even touched 70 games. He's never touched 70 games. Like, these dudes are not playing. The days of 82 games is over. I think the days of even 70, 75 games are over. Load management has won. So I think we need to shift our thinking in terms of this guy doesn't play enough. Like, okay, but you understand no one's playing 82 games. No one's playing 70 games. So if they could get Zion to 60, that's about what he's going to get anyway. Karl Anthony Towns is still touching 70, but it's Karl Anthony Towns. Oh, man. What about Donovan? Let's see Donovan Mitchell. Spider doesn't seem to sit out a lot. Up 68 games. Okay, see? 68. 68, 67, 69. Like, see? I mean, these dudes are not playing the games that y'all think they are. So even though, yes, you can kill Zion, the fact that he played 61 games, that's around about what he was going to play anyway. So dudes just ain't playing, man. The 82 games, dudes are going to sit down at least 15 games every year. You just got to pencil that in. So that's 67. 67 is the new like 75, 78. Dudes just don't play a lot no more. Load manage. Man, name a good young player. Let's see. What did Paolo do? Paolo 72. Even Paolo, he didn't even get close to 80, 82. He didn't play 10 games. Like, how many games you expect Victor Wembanyama to play next year? You think Popovich going to have him out here 78, 79 games next year? He's going to get load managed. I would love to place a bet if he even plays 70. Paolo playing 72 is an upset to me. I would have had him penciled in there right in there around high 60s. Victor Wembanyama, how many games he's playing next year? If I give you the number, over, under 71. 71 and a half. Over, under, how many games for Victor Wembanyama? I'll type it in the chat. I'll even join y'all. Y'all answer that question. And then I'm going to screenshot it and we'll track it. People are not playing a lot of games, bro. Let's see. Games leaders, official leaders. Games played. All right, let's get this to regular season. Games played. Why can't I sort this? The NBA.com website stinks. All right, leaders, NBA season. All right, I want player stats, though. Come on now. It should not be this difficult. Leaders, standings, per game, totals. Good Lord. Game started. Shit, Mikal Bridges, because of the schedule and the trade, he played one more game over the whole season. So Harrison Barnes, Vucevic, Kevion Looney. Name a good player, okay? Listen to the guys who played every night and name me a good player. We'll give Mikal Bridges a pass. He's a good player, right? Find me another good player. Harrison Barnes, Nikola Vucevic, Looney, Derek White, Patrick Williams, Kenyon Martin Jr., Jordan Poole, Isaiah Hartenstein, Tari Eason, Javon Carter, Terrence Mann, Malik Beasley, Emmanuel Quickley, Franz Wagner, Keegan Murray, Buddy Hield. Like, find me a star that's played a lot of games. I'm waiting on a star. We're at 80 games. No stars yet. Spencer Dinwiddie. Evan Mobley, 79 games. Domantas Sabonis. There it is. There's one guy. He's an all-star at least. Brooke Lopez, Jarrett Vanderbilt, Reggie Bullock. You see who's playing a lot of games? Role players, because they have to. Where the stars at? Zach LaVine? I ain't drinking that Kool-Aid. Julius Randle? I ain't drinking that Kool-Aid. Not one star yet. We're in the mid-70s. CJ McCollum, DeMar DeRozan, Tobias Harris, DeJounte Murray, 74 games. Tatum, 74. Dudes are not playing a lot of games anymore. Okay, Scrub Zero's taking the under. Okay. Dubs, thanks for pulling up. He's taking it over. Okay. All right. I'm going to lock that in. Bam Adebayo hit 75. We calling Bam a star? We calling Bam a star? He's a known player. Trae Young, 73. De'Aaron Fox, 73. So again, like, that's the most you're getting out of a star player, dog. You're not getting a star player. Like, we haven't even gotten to like the top of the top yet. Jokic, boom, 69. It's the first true star we've seen. Jokic, 69. SGA, 68. Spider, 68. Like, yeah, dog. It's like, nah, man. Nah. That's a trash narrative, bro. So if Zion could just get into the 60s, he's right with everybody else who's worth a damn to their franchise. Okay, Dubs saying if he stays healthy, 75 easy for Wembanyama. I'm not saying he's not going to be healthy. I'm asking Dubs, do you think Greg Popovich is going to play him 75 games? It's not a matter of is he going to be healthy enough. We know what Pop did. He ushered in this load management shit. And it wasn't just with Kawhi. It was all of them. Duncan, Parker, Ginobili. Like, the Spurs were ahead of the game in load managing. We're going to send now Big Vic to Popovich after knowing what load management did to Duncan's career. It extended it. Parker, Ginobili, it extended it. Kawhi, it extended it. He ain't going to do that with the prize that is Victor Wembanyama? I'm taking a under. Plus, with the way his body is, the wear and tear, nah. I think it's not necessarily saying Big Vic's going to get hurt. It's more saying his coach is Greg Popovich. And they do the load managing like no other on that side. Like if we want to go back to when they were still actually winning. All right, they was second. All right, let's see. Kawhi 74. LaMarcus Aldridge 72. So again, no one's touching 80, dog. Danny Green 68. Tony Parker 63 at that point in his career. Season before that, finished second. Danny Green 79. He's a role player. You can run him into the ground. Everyone else in the low 70s. Low 70s, even Kawhi. Tim Duncan 60. Load manage. Kawhi, 64. Duncan, 77. Okay, so at 38 years old, Tim Duncan was out here with 77. That was probably more of a Tim Duncan thing than a Popovich thing. Tony Parker, 68. Like, I think Wemby will be healthy, but I think he's going to get a lot of healthy scratches next year. Now, he'll face pressure from the league to play him because people are going to travel. People are going to want to see Big Vic. So the Spurs are going to be a commodity when they travel on the road this year, this upcoming year. But Popovich don't play those games. If he thinks it's the third, if it's the third game in 4 nights, Big Vic ain't playing that third game. Big Vic ain't playing that third game. Oh, we know Pop gonna low manage Wemby. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, yeah. Heck, would Wemby play more than 65 games under Pop? I think 65 is a little low at early in his career. That's why, for me, I think that 70, 72 number, because that's like what? That's missing 10 games. He might get hurt, might get a bone bruise. I mean, he's frail. We've seen, dude, he's frail. Like, it's a possibility. AB, those days are over when your superstars are not playing 82 games. Yeah, I mean, they ain't even playing. They're barely playing 70 games. So, I don't know. People need to readjust their thinking when it comes to the notion of, what are these players? What do you expect in terms of an output in games played? Especially a young player like Zion that's already battled through some weight stuff, some health stuff, some foot stuff. You're never going to get 70 games out of him. Never. So take the 60 to 68 games and make do with what you can. That's why you have a Brandon Ingram. That's why you have a CJ McCollum. Let them pick up the slack. All right, let's see. Do we have anything for this game tonight? All right, let's see if we have anything starting lineups. Is there going to be any lineup changes? What is it? It's almost 6 o'clock. All right, let's see. Oh, some executives around the league believe the Timberwolves will trade Karl Anthony Towns in the next few weeks. Who wants Cat? We just talked about Cat. Oh, it's a 3-team trade, allegedly. It's always Bleacher Report thinking up some shit. I don't think anyone who's a contender wants Karl Anthony Towns. But either him or Rudy Gobert got to go. They showed us last year they can't play together. So one of them got to go. And you gave up so much for Rudy Gobert that you kind of have to hang on to him. So I guess Karl Anthony Towns is the odd man out. And I mean, he's never going to be the number one on the champion anyway. So. But Tim Duncan playing 77 games, playing under 30 minutes. Yes, that's true. That's the other thing we should be looking at. not just the games, but the minutes per game. Yeah, I think Vic, if you're talking about Big Vic, like I don't see Big Vic being out there 40 minutes. I don't think his body can handle that. Like you're going to have to really measure him against like, I mean, I don't want to do the Yao Ming thing because Yao Ming was a different dude. But let's see. Let's go to Magic Man's favorite player. How many minutes he played his rookie year? 34 minutes. Okay, 34 minutes. He played 80 games, but that was back when you had to. Damn, look how long ago it's been since, well, I guess that 1 year with Golden State, but 2013. It's been 10 years since KD's played 80 games. Whole ass decade. Let's see. Kristaps. Trying to find the guys that are size comparable to Big Vic and see how many minutes they played their rookie year. Kristaps Porzingis, under 30 minutes, but he started 72 games. Yeah, that's about it in terms of comparisons. Script Zero, I'm good on Cat. Talent-wise, he's got it, but he's too soft for me. Yeah, he's just not it, man. Jimmy snatched his soul, pause, and not to say that he was better before that, but he's really never been the same since that whole Jimmy thing. Jimmy kind of single-handedly like wrecked that franchise. It was supposed to be Wiggins and Cat and Jeff Teague. They had some dudes, but when you were asking two dudes who are not number one options to be the number one options, yeah, you're not going to make it. You're just not going to make it. AB, Cat is a piece for a championship team. Sure. But like an Aaron Gordon piece. He's like a fourth option. He ain't like no second option, but you want to pair him with Dame? You want Dame and Cat in Portland? You think that'll do any better? Like what team? What team? Again, see, that's the thing. Like what team? What team is he going to that's going to make them so much better? If he goes to Golden State, Golden State got a lot of picks, and they got some youngins. They give up some youngins, and they go get Karl Anthony Towns. They let the habitual nut hitter walk. They use that bread to go absorb Cat's contract, or maybe they do a sign and trade. Although I don't see the habitual nut hitter signing to go to Minnesota. So again, that's the problem. Scrub Zero, NBA is full of twos and who's. Yeah, I mean, that's, it's really just not, that's what I'm saying. Like, the Nuggets could run off a couple chips here. Like, I don't think people are understanding it. There's not a lot of comp here in this league unless there's some really major trades. There's not a lot of comp as is for the Denver Nuggets. Jokic is going to continue to just be at this level. Jamal Murray is just now getting over the ACL. He's going to be better next year. I don't know what happens with Michael Porter Jr. I talked about it yesterday. Maybe Christian Braun ascends and Michael Porter Jr. kind of, like tails off. But Christian Braun looked like he's ready to take somebody's spot. And he could be a 3-and-D guy. Kind of what they were expecting from Michael Porter Jr. Thomas, man, I remember before load management, everybody was playing 82. Yeah, man, those were the days. I think load managing is good. It is correct. With the amount, and it's a weird thing, right? Because obviously I'm an 80s baby. So like Thomas said, I grew up with the whole thing of everybody played 82, right? However, I think there is something to the science of maybe they shouldn't be playing all 82. Like, because that doesn't necessarily mean that you're healthy. No one's healthy for 82 games. So yeah, maybe you should take a handful of games off, especially with the type of travel that these guys do. But I think when you're starting to miss like 20 games, that's when it's like, all right, dogs, that's like a quarter of the year, bro. Like, that's a little different. But if you miss 10 to 15, it's a little bit more reasonable. Because those 3 games in 4 nights, that's tough. And yes, they did it back in the days and they didn't complain and do. Yeah, but have you seen those guys from the 80s and 90s and even early 2000s? Have you seen them walk around? Those dudes' knees are shot. Those hips are shot. So yeah, they can wear that badge of honor of, I played all 82 games every year. Okay, now you can barely walk in your 50s or 60s. I'd rather load manage. I get to play longer, collect more bread, and then I could still be able to walk around and run and jump as I get old. So there is a trade-off to that whole narrative of, you know, back in my day, we were tougher. We always played. Word. Now you got a cane and you're 57. AB Cat was shine in that Golden State system. Sure. Offensively. That defense would be bad, boy. That would be some bags. I mean, Steph's already bad. Clay's a shell of his former self. Man, that defense would be so bad. Still would have Jordan Poole? Probably not though, right? In a cat trade, probably got to give up Jordan Poole. Or they're openly trying to get rid of Jordan Poole anyway. Let's see. See if there's anything else. Any lineup stuff? Haven't seen no lineup stuff. All right, let's see. Can we get there's some stuff with Chris Sims. I was going to get into that, but I don't really feel like going crazy today. This is still a thing. People are really buying into this. People are thinking the point fraud is going to be out here with Big Vic. Lowry getting some shots up. Lowry getting more shots up. So Lowry putting in that work. He's shooting from deep. Let's see if he gets any of these off during the actual game. Yeah, this to me was an interesting story. They're being funny with the money in Taiwan. And I'm like, yo, Dwight, you really thought people in Taiwan weren't going to be funny with the money? Like, I don't understand why Dwight is surprised or feels disrespected that people in Taiwan didn't really offer him the bag. Like, come on, dogs, you're in Taiwan. Oh, wow. I didn't know someone spoke. This is his stepfather? Oh, wow. Hold on. That's my son and I love. Oh, wow. Okay. We got more shit on this Zion stuff. I didn't know that was the stepfather. I had no idea what the stepfather looked like.
And I want to say this, and I want to be politically correct when I say it. That's my son, and I love him. You know, when I was a child, I walked like a child, talked like a child, did childish things. But when I became a man, when I understood, then God blessed me. So all I'm going to say this morning, believe half of what you see and nothing you hear.
He's saying this while wearing a Jumpman. I don't know what that is. I don't know if that's a polo or I don't know, but just understand he's dripped in Jumpman.
That's all I'm going to say.
Believe half of what you see and nothing you hear.
I became a man. When I
He was trying to
understood,
preach, but I mean,
then God blessed me. So all I'm going to say this morning,
he's completely freestyling this, by the way. You could see him searching for the words. He's freestyling this, and it sounds like it.
believe half of what you see and nothing you hear. That's all I'm going to say.
Hey, man. He trying to stay dripping that Jordan brand as long as he can, too.
I stand by my son 100%. There you go. I wasn't always where I am today. Come here, son.
I don't know what he thought that was doing, but stepdad, that didn't hit. Even Zion's looking like, yo, dogs, you just freestyled the hell out of that, and I don't know what you was trying. Like, all right, bruh. All right, bruh. All right, let's see. All right, we're not looking at UD. We don't care about that. All right. All right, I think we might be done there. All right, yep, we'll wrap it up there. Good stream today. I thank y'all for pulling up. Let's see where we at. Oh, it's Friday, right? All right, so we'll do this again Monday. Monday, y'all have a good weekend. I'm going to try to put out some more clips from this week. It was a good week of streams. I appreciate y'all's support as always. If you want to support, check out some of the clips that I have up. I appreciate that. If you also want to support, there is a tip jar link in the description. There's many ways to support. You can just watch the content like I've been doing, contributing to the stream, which is dope. If you want to spread the word, try to grow the subscribers, try to grow the watch hours, because, I want to get to the point where I can monetize this thing and I can really, it unlocks some features that I could really add to this stream to make it really pop. So trying to, grind out a way to monetize this thing. I'm learning all this YouTube shit on the fly. So monetize is now a thing that I've been told I need to focus on. So, we're trying to figure this thing out as we go. I'm always here providing the content. We'll see if we still have an NBA Finals next week. I don't think this time next week we'll still be covering the NBA Finals. I think we'll be done and clear by then, but we'll see. But I got the Nuggets tonight. I think they go up 3-1. Y'all have a good weekend. I'll be putting some clips up here on the channel, and I'll holler at y'all Monday, 4 p.m. Eastern with another edition of Timeline T. I'm the Sam D. Dusenberry Jr. Peace.